If you have the slightest interest in landscape photography, there's one tip, despite everything else you might read about how to shoot effective landscapes, that really needs to be practiced time and time again.
Hi, I'm Brian Peterson, and I'm the author of Understanding Exposure and Brian Peterson's Field Guide to Understanding Photography.
I'm here in beautiful Illinois, the great Midwest, where we've got an incredible, beautiful landscape before us of farm country. And what makes this beautiful, in my opinion, is the sky that's presenting itself in a very beautiful way with the clouds, blues, as well as the wind that's up there in the clouds is stirring up the clouds and creating different shapes. One of the keys to a successful landscape, and I can't stress this enough, is you need to determine what your subject is, and generally speaking, that subject is something on the ground in the landscape itself, but yet we're going to utilize the sky in a way that emphasizes the overall feeling of that landscape. Generally speaking, you have to ask yourself a really simple question, and the question is this: is the interest greatest in my landscape? Is the interest greatest below the horizon line, or is the interest greatest above the horizon line? Rarely, if ever, unless it's a mirrored landscape, such as a mountain scene reflecting in a lake, rarely, if ever, when you're dealing with the landscape, do you put the horizon line dead centered in the middle. As is often the case here. You're driving down this same country road and you find yourself stopping, as I did, being attracted to the somewhat isolated, lonely feeling of these silos in this broad landscape in the background. There we can see a shot that normally most people would shoot, which would be something like this. Just the silos themselves. It's not that interesting. The fact of the matter is, we want to emphasize the overall landscape here, and to do that, we need to go wider and then make the decision. Is the interest greatest below that horizon line or above? I think you'll agree when you compare these two shots. The interest is greatest above, particularly when you see them side by side. Take a look at that first image, which is silos and soybean fields. Take a look at this next shot, where we put silos against a broad, expansive sky. We still have soybean fields, but most of all we have the grand scope of Mother Nature. The sense of scale of that broad, expansive sky lends itself to really emphasizing how wide open this landscape really is. So, despite side light and front light and back light and low-angled light and early morning, late afternoon, lens choice, wide-angle telephoto, blah, 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 blah. Ultimately, the best landscapes require you to ask the simple question: is the interest greatest above the horizon line, or is interest greatest below the horizon line? And here's a few more examples for you to compare for yourself. Horizon line near the bottom, horizon line near the top. In my mind, in one of these examples, the horizon line near the top of the frame, that being the tulip fields, works effectively well. It's all about the beautiful light cascading and rolling across this field of tulips with the farm scene in the background. Likewise, in this next photograph of lavender fields, with the tree at the end of the row, I think you'll agree the horizon line near the bottom of the frame, once again, in much the same way here in these silos, it works best to show that large, expansive sky when we place that horizon line near the bottom third. Hey, until next time, this is Brian Peterson reminding you, you keep shooting.